for those that are listening and observing within our audience, we do have very many of our people that are very much in that space of saying, I receive revelation, or I know what it feels like to have God speak to my soul and my heart. Do you mind just explaining in your own words what that feels like, how somebody can recognize that if they're not familiar with that process?
Wow. Jason, that's such a good question because, yeah, not everybody gets to hear God. And some people um, hear him a lot, others never do. I just feel very blessed. All my life, I've heard God speaking to me about little things. D- You know, um, for instance, the one of the first times when I think God was starting to work on me and get my attention, the girls and I went to visit their dad for lunch at where he worked downtown at the time, and they were little, and we had just come from working out at the gym. Well, I did, they were in tow with me, and I knew that we'd have to park the car and walk a little bit to go to his office, so I didn't wanna put my jewelry on. Uh, I just, I'm not a big city person and anymore, and so I was just being cautious, so I had my jewelry in a little bag, and I kept it in my gym bag, and I heard God saying, take it with you." Um, and I thought, "Why? We're parking at a covered parking space, it's a valet, and I didn't feel threatened, but I did. I thought, "Okay, whatever." And I took it with me. Well, when we got out of lunch, my husband was walking us back to the, parking deck, and they couldn't find the car. It was gone. That's the first time I've ever had a car stolen like that, and one of my daughters said, "I heard God telling me to take my" one of her favorite little bear. He went with us everywhere, and I was like, because I told them, I said, "God told me to bring my jewelry, and I did it." And there were other things, but, um, as far as ending up in seminary, which I was really insulted when my friends were telling me, "You need to be in seminary." I thought, "Why would I do something like that?" I don't even know what they're teaching there, but anyway, I signed up for Hebrew, and the very first day of class, I was real excited. I was finally going to learn some biblical Hebrew so I could help the women that I was teaching know more about the context and what's really being said in scripture. And, to just kind of go back a little bit, um, when you're reading scripture, and there are certain words that could mean many different things depending on the context. And if you know a second language, if you know any other second language, even Spanish or French, there are ways of saying things that you just can't translate fully in English. You just can't. And I know that because I am bilingual. And so I was real excited. I'm gonna finally dig into God's word.